Alright guys, Tech here, and I wanted to go over the new mini bosses since I had a chance to encounter those finally. I want to go over one, how to get them, and two, what their modifiers are, and then I'll actually show you video of both of my initial fights, and we'll kind of talk about them a little bit more in depth at that point. So to get started, how do you encounter the Infinite Hunger? So to encounter the Infinite Hunger, you must progress through the Eater of Worlds questline. For me, this was the second questline that opened up, and obtain a Withering Invitation, which allows access to his arena. Afterwards, you can get tradable versions of it, but that's only in T14 plus maps, influenced by the Eater of Worlds once you defeat the Eater of Worlds once. So that's very important. So you have to beat his boss, then you can drop more of these, which will then in turn lead to more of those. It's kind of the idea there. So for the tips, this part's going to be a little spoilery if you have not done the boss fight yet, but when it drags you under and it teleports you to a very large area that stacks Corrosion, which is a Chaos degen, and spawns a few ads. Basically, you follow the direction of the flowing water and head to the portal back to the arena for that one. Alright, so how to encounter the Black Star. This is the first one I unlocked. So to encounter the Black Star, the player must progress through the Searing Exarch's questline to obtain a Plaric Invitation, allow access to the Plaric Void. Afterwards, same thing, tradable versions drop, but only in tier 14 plus, and only if it is influenced by the Searing Exarch, and you have defeated the Searing Exarch once. The tip section on this one is also going to be a little bit spoilery. The whole video is kind of spoilery. So when the Black Star uses Astral Avalanche, you'll hear it. It does have a voice line. I would suggest turning the voice line volume up, the dialogue volume up, specifically for these fights, especially if it's your first attempt. But you hide behind the pillars on the blue section of the arena. Okay, that's very important. Red pillars will break. There's a little thing you'll see when we get to the video, and it spins around in a circle. Half of the arena is always blue, half of the arena is always red. Ensure you're angled correctly away from the meteors. Very, very important. So you have to look at kind of where it's positioned and make sure you're all the way behind the block. When the Black Star uses her beam, which is on the red section, hide behind pillars on the red section of the arena. The blue section will break, just like with Astral Avalanche, so you have to be kind of corresponding. And then it will strafe slightly while using this attack, so you kind of have to play hide and go seek with the pillar. Another thing to note is you actually get a debuff, whichever side of the pillar you're on, and it controls whatever attack you have to deal with. So if you want to only deal with the beam, just stay in the red side of the arena the whole time, and you can you can only deal with the beam. If you only want to deal with Astral Avalanche, you can stay on the blue side of the arena the whole time, just so you're aware. So they're both essentially the same other than the location. So they both have 50 Fire, Cold, and Lightning res, 30 Chaos res. They have 66% less curse effectiveness and cannot be fully slowed, and they also have the Unwavering Keystone Notable. The same thing on Black Star, it just does not have the Unwavering Keystone Notable, but the mods otherwise are exactly the same. Then let me stop this for a second and I will bring up the video. All right, so this is going to be the Infinite Hunger video. So I was just getting my zombies up because I realized I ran out of zombies before I went any further, because you don't want to do a boss fight with those zombies when you're playing a minion build. It's very bad. And so the first thing you get, so you see this little trail here that comes off the back of him when he turns in that black form, leaves a Chaos degen or a Corrosion degen. He also has a slam attack, and then that move right there where it's like a forward charge. Most of it's very avoidable. And as you can see, I hit the Chaos Degen, and then the water started coming up. And I was like, okay, what's this? And then the waters continued to rise. So I'm like, okay, let me get out of there. And I got to this part where water is all around me. And then I get close because water's everywhere. And he slams, and then he teleports me to the other arena. Now, the slam got me. Basically, the only way I would have lived through that is if I had blocked. But then we come back to this arena. We're under half health. The mechanics themselves are not bad to dodge and avoid if you're playing a caster. If you're playing a melee character, this could easily get hairy. Then I noticed that the ball kind of followed me around. I was doing a little bit of playtesting here. And so I think going forward, I would drag the ball to the bottom to give me more time to respond to the corrosive water instead of dragging the ball up to where I wanted to be. And then boom, there is that one. Then let me grab, and then you get a little message from the envoy over here. And this one took me a little bit longer. Yep, there it is. So as you can see, there's a line in the middle. One half's red, one half's blue. And you'll notice there's debuffs on me already, like instantly. You basically instantly get debuffs. And then, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting a debuff. Let me switch to the other side. Let me switch again. I'm getting close to 10. Like thinking of WoW mechanics here. Like once you get 10 stacks, get out. And then here in just a moment, I get Astral Avalanche. Now, I've never seen this before. And like I did these fights completely unspoilered. So you can see I wasn't behind the pillar all the way. You had to be like all the way 100% behind the pillar for it to work and for you not to take damage. Okay, here we go. Now we're at correct speed. So now I got the beam like straight away. And I'm like, okay, that beam hurts. Get behind pillar. And then I kind of figured out that she was angle chasing me. So that was much easier for me to instinctively deal with than the astral projection. And then as you can see, I kind of just warped behind her because I realized that the astral projection was almost over. Then she summons a sentinel, which she'll use the voice line Simulacrum for. And then she had the voice line Star Flare. So I already knew, because of the previous experience, that was an attack out of the middle. And then boom, dead. So I did make mistakes on both of those fights, but I did want to show y'all the fights, even with me making the mistakes, because hopefully my learning experience will help you in your learning experience, so you get a little bit better at these fights. But I hope this information was helpful. And if you have any questions about either of these bosses, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, have a great day, Exiles.